And let's call this meeting of the Community Housing Board to order. The first thing that we have on our agenda is to review our minutes from the last meeting. Everybody just take a moment. Does anybody have any notes?
I make a motion to.
I would like to.
Seconded?
I'm sorry.
Do we,
I don't know.
What was your question?
I was like, do we do so, then it's just done, or do we say so approved?
Yeah.
Okay.
I need a vote.
Yeah, it's all in favor. I was like, sorry, I've been got up a little early. My Robert's Rules of Order are a little shaky this morning. Okay.
Minutes are good.
All
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great, approved.
Meg Larson is the, I don't know.
Meg, are you here to give us an update? Are you just here to hang out with us?
I'm here to hang out with you. I just texted Jerry to see if he was going to log in, and I think Amber is currently traveling upstate, so I was here to cover her so I could give her notes. Yeah, so I'm here to just learn from you.
Okay, cool. So we were just gonna, we have a update. We'll come back to that when Jerry gets on. I think the thing that we're probably really looking for, the update that at least I have on mine, is the South Ferry site update, if they've heard anything back. I haven't heard anything.
That would be an Amber.
Yeah,
We'll have to table that till next meeting.
yeah. So I will.
With the South Ferry site, the test hole was done, but I don't know anything beyond that. So
Yeah, I haven't. Okay, that's what I knew too. So what I'll do is I'll just, since she's traveling, I'll follow up by email and just try to get us an update before the next meeting, just to see what the results were, if we have those in. Make myself a note. All right. So the next thing that we had on our agenda was kind of talking about potentially doing like a pre-qualification workshop for the +1 ADU grant. And then I just thought it would also might be really helpful. Mark and Bill, you guys weren't there at the session, so maybe we could just like get you guys up to speed.
Yeah.
So basically Gwen came out and we did a session, and you guys just jump in if I'm telling lies or I miss something important. At 1 o'clock with the contractors, just to kind of go through like kind of how it works. And then we did a public session at 3 p.m., which was really like, there was like folks there at 1, but like the 3 p.m. one was really well attended.
Yeah.
Good.
So that was like
Like a
that
packed
made,
house at the.
Standing well.
yeah.
Right.
So that made me feel, I was like, there's got to be at least 8 to 16 in here that are, maybe we could get through it, you know? So with that much interest.
And
so
people who will tell their friends, their company.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was really, really encouraging.
I'm not familiar with the contractor community on the island. How well or poorly attended was the 1 o'clock? 'Cause
There were like 20 people
There were
there
like-
or
yeah.
more.
well, I know the sort of body count, but how many of them really were folks who might go out and do this?
I know Rika was there.
Yeah.
What's her name?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I'll think of it in a minute. Janelyn.
Janelyn was there.
James
James Eklund was
That's
there.
Rico.
Yeah, and
Okay.
so I felt like there were some at least key players who would start spreading the word.
Perfect.
I felt like we had at least I know it was like short notice and a Saturday, but I felt like we had at least like a critical mass of like,
As long as they're talking about it when they're having coffee and
yeah.
know it exists, right? Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think, I mean, who knows, but I felt like we got there, and I did have a lot of people reach out to me with just like later to give me cards. And I was like, no, like you need to contact Gwen and get on this list. And so I was doing a lot of like redirects. So I haven't gotten a final count in from Gwen of like how many contractor or design professionals reached out, but it did seem like she was getting, I was like CC'd on quite a few emails. So.
From the general public, what was the sense in terms of the people that were there, that they would actually qualify, that they would be in, the cohort of qualification? And do we have like a little beginning of a nascent working list from that?
Gwen actually has the beginnings of a list. We had them reach out to her because basically they were going to be the ones that are going to open.
Right.
I felt like, and you guys, I actually felt there was quite a few people that I was like, no, it wouldn't work like that. But I felt like there was quite a few that I was like, no, that could work. Like
The
either,
majority of the people I think there would not qualify with income levels.
yeah,
That was my,
Yes, maybe
Yeah.
2 or 3, but it was good to say, hey, I can't do this, but hey, you do it.
yeah,
Could be getting the information out there, because I recognize most of the people in there. So, and I think it was just more information gathering and everything.
yeah. Yeah,
But there was a good sense of eagerness.
yes, everybody was they wanted to
There
know,
was no negative.
which was like, it was great. I wasn't totally sure what to expect walking in, but it was really positive, I thought, for a housing meeting on Shelter Island.
I think people also there thought it was attached to the affordable housing, which it's totally not.
Yeah.
So.
but I guess one other follow-up to that, of those that wouldn't be income eligible, was there any sense that some of them still might have some interest in doing it for affordable housing? Did that kind of?
Well, no, it's
I mean,
free
I could-
market. Don't say
Yeah.
affordable because it's free market. They can
Yeah.
charge whatever they
They
can
want,
to
right.
get the people in.
Yeah.
There's no,
But
All
I
right,
think
so-
your
so
question
just to
is on the grant, it's free market, where they're interested in people seeking a waiver.
Yes.
Yes, that was asked.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, the community housing license did
We
come
talked about
up.
the community housing license, or you did, I said nothing, but.
But you said it beautifully.
But,
There's not a lot of support from the back of the room.
but did that, so was there a sense that there was a cohort that wouldn't be income eligible for the grant, but still might want to do something for community
we didn't really
housing?
get into, there was so much to
That would just
cover.
be, kind of gossipy thing on the side.
Yeah,
to be
no, I mean,
honest with
there
you.
was so much to cover on the grant. There were so many questions on the grant that we just really stayed there because people, they'd be like, well, what if the moon's full? And then it's like my sister, and you know what I mean? And you'd just be like, well, I guess it would maybe work, so,
But I think at least 2 people inquired, to your point.
yeah,
So
Okay.
it was,
yeah.
at least there were 2 people thinking.
Yeah, and I think it was also a great opportunity to actually talk about the community housing license just as a thing, that I think a lot of people didn't know.
Yeah, I don't think there's that much knowledge. of
Awareness
that.
about it. Yeah. So I thought that was good.
I was also asked a question after the fact that as a CPA, I knew all the answers to, but I'll check with another CPA to see if it's right.
Oh.
They're thinking of transferring their house into a trust for their kids. And the kids would qualify income-wise.
Oh, interesting.
So his question to me was, he doesn't qualify.
Right.
But if we're going to put the house into a trust with it for our kids anyway, and the kids don't meet the income,
Okay, the kids meet the income?
well, right, the kids don't make enough money.
Right.
Right, so they would, if he does that, is it based on the income of the
I think that would be a question for Gwen of just like how that contract is written and like how the, you know, I would say it would be it seems like it would be a solid maybe, but we need to like just.
He's going to do it regardless.
I mean, that's awesome.
If he could do it and get an ADU out of it.
Yeah, no, I mean, that would be cool.
do backflips, right?
Yeah. And then kind of to that, it looks like they think that they'll have so basically the kind of steps that they were waiting for the final contract from New York because they had to like get that, read through it. They had actually, I think it was this week, it was the 10th that she had a meeting with New York, that they were going back to ask questions, right, for clarification to do and then her team was going to be drafting the application.
How in the world did New York start the clock before the document was
I know.
finalized?
Here's the thing, I knew that they were going to, which was why I was like, it's like Gwen warned me because it was such a rush. Like, I think I told you guys, like they called me Christmas Eve and they're like, you need to start. And I was like, but we don't have the thing.
It
And
was
like,
probably in the last year's budget
Yeah.
to get it out.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that's a good, and so they were like, you need to start working on it. And then everybody was like, no, we don't have it in hand. But they kept, so anyway, but whatever, there we are. So, the Gwen and the CDCLI ought to have some clarification. So I'll also do a little email just to get, and I'll just put everybody on it just to see if they had any interesting findings from that. And then, like I said, her team is going to be working on finalizing the application. And so then I feel like this is where our action item comes in is once we know when they're going to open the applications, how do we want to do communications around that? And then there was so many, there were so many questions that kind of came up, once we have the actual application, we had kind of floated around before, like the idea of doing like a pre-qualification workshop just to make sure that you could qualify income-wise, do like a zoning or something like that. And so I just wanted to kind of put that out there. Did we want to do that like as like an in-person event? Did we want to try to make resources available? Like, I just wanted to, it felt like people needed a little bit more support to potentially get through that process. And how do we think as a group that we could help?
Can we create because I don't, if I would assume everybody in this group the frequently asked question part we should know the answers to them.
Yeah.
And I know, for me at least, I don't know the answers to a lot of them. So is maybe step one, us getting the pre-qualified education and then setting it up. I don't know if people want to sit in a room in an open forum and discuss their income and qualification levels and so on and so
But
forth.
if you do it as a workshop, you can give the information and then you can have breakouts to individual places. And I think,
That's
so
a
you could have a
great
double,
idea.
you could
Right.
have a double prong kind of attack.
An open meeting and then set off with the building code department in this room and the economic people in that room.
Right.
Or
And we would have to, I agree with you, we would have to go through and have our own workshop first. So
Yeah.
we're comfortable with the FAQ.
one of the other things, another idea that had come up was maybe even just doing it where maybe we could have some information, like general information, like maybe FAQs printed. Hopefully we would be up to speed on FAQs. And then just maybe even have even 15 or 20 minute increments where maybe people could just sit down with see if Reed would come over on us, and just literally sit maybe privately, figure out some space where people could just come in and.
For Reed, don't you think it'd have to be more than 20 minutes?
Well, I mean, that is true. That is true.
So don't, just get them out of there.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I wonder if we could even just do it as a sign up of just here's the general information. Okay. Maybe a couple of us I don't know.
I think it would be better to have an actual informational workshop with breakouts, because you can handle, hopefully in the general meeting, a lot of the questions so that the individual meetings aren't as extensive and don't go over the same things. You get a little more efficiency for the people that are going to the individual meetings, because they'll have information first.
You would have to meet with Reed at the building department to find out, are you in the right, zoning?
Right.
So it's not like a meeting of 10 people and Reed, it's a meeting of you and Reed.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of just like, I guess my question would be, what are the other questions that we think that are general questions that weren't answered in the workshops that we just had?
Well, I think once we have the application, I think it's kind of just a rehash.
Yeah.
Once the application's in hand and we know all the, all
Right.
of the items that are in the application and what they need to do to qualify, then we can just have the same kind of information session. At least we have the piece of paper that everyone
Okay, and just go
take
again.
away. And
The one thing where I think she was a little vague is she said, we can provide extra financing.
Well,
But she was, that's not exactly clear.
well, but here's the thing, I'm just gonna I'm not gonna speak for Gwen, but like, it's gonna be because they're the lender, they can't guarantee that they're gonna give it to anybody. So I think she just didn't want to be like, you for sure are gonna get an extra 70, like.
No, I
yeah,
understand,
yeah.
but is it a 3% rate? Is it a 12% rate? Is it, if at least we understood maybe more of the
I
metric.
think it's all each individual basis.
Yeah, I thought she said 3. But I think it might be, it probably would depend on the project. Anyway, we can try to press her to give those details out publicly.
I don't think she needs to give a pricing sheet,
Yeah,
a guarantee. I
Yeah.
just think that was the only part where I thought there was some vagaries as to,
Yeah,
and why, did they give it to you because you want a McMansion versus you need a McMansion, right? Is there something about the design you pick that could limit whether they want to, right? Because there is this cheaper option.
right.
And you want this one, so you want 70 grand more. Are they going to say, well, no, just pick that one, right? Is there a certain
It
criteria?
depend on
Yeah, I mean,
I understand.
who applies and, the whole rubric that they're going to go through to say, these are the people that we think have the best.
But I guess my question is, do they have, let's say 2 people with exactly the same income and background, so identical twins, identical incomes, identical net worth, and one wants to build an ADU that's, because they have to be over 450 feet, right? So one wants a 451-foot one, and the other one wants a 600-foot one. And the difference is
X.
35,000,
Yeah.
right? Did they have some say in, well, no, just pick the smaller one, right?
Yeah, no. I think we have to find out what their like
We
underwriting
don't
looks
know
like,
that yet. Yeah, that's a good question, but.
Yeah. So let's just talk a little bit about logistically about like how the timeline on this would work, because it did seem like it seems like potentially these applications would go live sometime in June.
June, right? Yeah.
So that's not very long. So I guess I would just say, like, what is our timeline as a group? So I don't know if they have the applications finished. I'm gonna guess no, if they just met with New York this week, So let's say that they have their application line, how do we wanna try to like review it by email and kind of develop our questions? Like when would we want to set a date to do the second workshop? I think our next meeting is June 8th. So we could discuss it at the next meeting, but we'd probably need to we could hash out the details, but it seems like we would want to have a workshop date already set and reserved.
Can we get a copy of the application before June 8th, do you think, or no?
Well, I'm gonna find out, but I'm sure she doesn't quite know yet if she just got answers this week, but
Yeah. Okay.
I'll follow up with her tomorrow morning and see when she thinks. It seems,
But if you want to do the workshop, which I think is a great idea,
yeah,
it seems if we're figuring it out at the June meeting, that's stretching the dates. So can we, I don't know, maybe figure out how to run a workshop sooner so that we're finalizing everything at that June meeting rather than getting the discussion.
yeah. No, I mean, so I would say that we'd probably have to,
Interim,
yeah, like maybe we could either do it over email, or we could do, like, a subgroup of us could meet or something like that.
That worked well. I think making subcommittees of things. I mean, I think she said mid-June for the application,
Yeah,
so
but I'm sure they'll have like at least a working copy of it by the beginning. It seems like they would have a working
Not
copy of it
finalized, but
that's like going through their legal or whatever. So how about this? Why don't maybe everybody just make sure that you stay on just check your email in the next week. And then what I'll do is I'll follow up, and then maybe I can, working backwards between when the application is ready and before June 6th, maybe we can, some or all of us could hop on we have to be less than I think quorum for public, and we'll figure it out. But hop on with her just to work it out, and then maybe whoever can't make it for their schedule or whatever, could send their notes or their questions by email to get the other members to answer.
Right. Okay.
Does that seem
Yep.
okay?
sounds good.
Okay. that's
Liz, just so you know, Jerry's on, maybe
Oh.
it's an update for the South Ferry
Oh, thank
property.
you. Hey, Jerry.
He's muted.
Hey, everybody.
Hi, how's it going?
Good. I just authorized the payment. Matt had the next testing done at the South Ferry site for the health department. And he's put some papers into the health department.
Okay, cool. So it sounds like we're just, the papers are in and we're just kind of waiting to hear back. Is that?
Yeah, Liz, I'm thinking of, I kind of talked it over with Matt and Joe Fenora about having a meeting with Peter Scully and maybe the county executive to see if there's something we can do to
That would be great.
fast track this. I just, the concern is always, well, you're gonna step on toes and they're gonna get mad at you. So I just have to figure out, strategically the best way to go about doing this.
Oh, that makes, yeah. Well, yeah, keep us posted. I would love to, join in or whatever, or just even know I'm glad that it would be great just to even know what the capacity is over there so we can even start
The other
wrapping our
question,
minds.
the other question I asked the town attorney to look into, when we had a meeting with Peter Scully, a couple of years ago,
Uh-huh.
he had mentioned that the town had, 8 credits, 8 transfer development right credits
Huh?
that the county holds. So I'm
Uh-huh.
wondering if we need a program or if we can use those. So in other words, they already have the credits, so I have to find out exactly what that meant.
Well,
Sounds good.
we would be very interested in knowing that, because that would
Yeah.
really help inform.
I'll check with Steven tomorrow and see what he found out.
All right, great. Well, I'll make sure to follow up before the next meeting, because that would be very interesting to know about. Right. All right, I'm just gonna,
Do we want to set a potential date
yeah,
for that?
that's a
meeting?
great thing. So first thing, I will contact, I'm just gonna make myself a little list. I will reach out to Gwen and put everybody here on it, just to be like, hey, what's going on? What's the ETA of the application? Could we have a meeting to talk about it? And Yeah, and then when would we want to, like, let's say that it's gonna be available mid-June. When do we think we should do a meeting, a workshop? I'm just trying to think. I'm looking at that calendar.
Yeah.
How did you guys think about this Saturday worked?
Great,
Yeah?
but it was also April.
That is true. Let's see. So, I mean, there would be that. So I could, trying to think of what we could do there. Would we want to give ourselves a little bit more time? Would we?
I don't think it has to be that complicated.
Yeah,
I think once we have the application, we have a month plus to think about it right now.
yeah,
So we just need to kind of have that second meeting with the
Yeah.
application in hand.
Right.
Possibly building department, possibly Keely or somebody who can talk to the zoning code, I don't know, planning board.
yeah, maybe we could have a couple of, Okay.
Or it's just, you just have to refer people, like, okay, for your specific property, I cannot answer these questions, but please apply or
yeah.
talk to the building department.
So just to I'm just trying to think about, I feel like the library is a great space. So the next Saturday would be the 10th. The 17th is the library vote. So,
17th is also the 10K, 5K.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah,
a few, I know a few
yeah. So
neighborhood associations have events that day.
yeah, so I guess I would say the 17th is out.
Yeah,
So would we want to try to do the 10th or would we want to try to do like the 24th after it? Or is that too?
What happens if you move from a Saturday to a Tuesday at 7 o'clock? I'm just not familiar. I thought the time was great,
Ends is actually what happens. No.
so nobody shows up.
No, I don't know. I'm just, no, actually, I think that's totally
Don't do Tuesday.
Well, I'm
Consider
making up
Friday.
names, right, I'm just
Consider
wondering,
Friday.
do people
Friday
show up for
evening.
evening events or?
I don't know. I don't think we've ever done it.
I thought the outcome was much more than I thought it was going to be, so I thought that was terrific.
Yeah.
But if the Saturdays are presenting difficulties because of other issues, maybe a Friday night could work.
Well, I was also thinking, yeah,
Booze.
great. I mean, I'm sure the town is totally covered insurance wise. So it's not even a problem. This just got awesome. This just got awesome. What about, so potentially the 16th?
that's a Friday.
That's the Friday before,
that.
because basically
There's a lot of
everybody would be
people-
in town and civic minded.
Yeah.
Okay, how about this? Why don't we say preliminarily and I'll call Terry over at the library and see what,
They might have an event already scheduled because they have their Friday night dialogues, but,
but we could ask, we could ask.
right, no.
Or, I wonder if maybe I'll ask would it be weird to have it at the fire department? I wonder if those guys would let us have it there.
Or the EMS building
Yeah.
as a conference room.
yeah, that's a good one too.
Would it be weird to have it at either one of those places? Okay.
Legion
Oh, down below or upstairs?
upstairs.
I had
Fun down below.
buildings.
It's more fun down below.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've got the insurance.
Yeah, they got that. The Mark's thinking. All right, well, how about this? I will first try the library and then I will move out to other venues. Okay.
The library is good because they had to Zoom and everything. So-
Yeah, they're like, it's
Yeah.
pretty,
So other people who, I have no idea how many people are on Zoom.
yeah, I don't even know.
There were definitely some.
Okay, I'm just trying to think of is there anything else that we have with that we want to talk about?
Well, I want to go back
Yeah,
to some sort of workshop for us before a preliminary workshop for so that we're all on the same page and a little bit more educated.
Yeah, so what I was gonna do is I was gonna reach out to Gwen, get the applications. You have to just check your email, and then what we'll do is we would arrange a Zoom meeting
Right.
with her to ask her questions, or if for some reason you couldn't attend, you'd send your questions in sometime in between now and then.
But we should also create 3 people to figure out what this workshop is
Yeah,
and plan it.
yep,
So we have a little workshop subcommittee
okay.
that can meet without being a quorum. I don't know what the quorum rule is. Or
So
7.
good, how much is a quorum for, is it just half, less than half?
That's one.
Yeah, half plus, so if it's 5, you need 3 people.
Okay, we're 7.
You need
4.
So 3 can meet without a
Do you
meeting.
need 4 or it just can't be
3
more
is
than
not a
5?
quorum. You
3
need
is
4
not.
or more.
3 is not a quorum.
Yeah.
Who wants to,
I'll be part of it. I'll volunteer to help.
I would also be part of it, but
okay. I can do it because I'm a sucker,
All right,
clearly.
that's us.
Great.
So beyond the email thread of questions to Gwen, we'll figure out in conjunction.
And then here's the thing is if anybody,
time is.
if either of you two feel a big way, like you got a lot of questions, you can just be like, listen, I need to tag in when you guys are out. Is that,
Well,
if you're doing it
the
at
reason
the
I'm not
Memorial
holding my
Day,
hand up is because I don't know enough, and so I'm hoping to learn, not
Right.
not organize, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm happy to help, but I'd rather be in the audience
got it.
than setting up the workshop.
Okay,
Ditto.
great. You guys will be on charge of chairs.
Put Maria on it too. There's your 4th.
No, we have to, it can only be 3.
Oh, because you don't want, oh, I
Yeah.
see, that's right. Yeah, because you don't want an official meeting.
Well, it's just because it's not that so much that we don't want an official meeting. It's just that you have to give like 3 days notice and you
yes.
have to do it, which just, if you're
Yeah,
trying to
I hear
work
you.
around 4 people's schedules, it gets a little
Yeah, gotcha.
wackadoodle.
But if there is a possibility we could, and it just turns into an official meeting, that's a one-topic meeting.
Yeah,
I mean, if the notices don't turn out to be a problem and they're,
well, here's the other thing is Coco has to be available to run the meeting. So there's a little bit more to it.
I
Yeah, yeah.
get all, I
Yeah,
get the
yeah, but-
logistics, but if the logistics
If
align,
the stars align and we can do it,
that could be good.
yeah, let's do it. We can do an extra meeting. We got it.
And you can also go on helperislandtown.us and click on calendar and you can see what's going on for the home.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Okay, so to date meeting. Oh, I know what I was gonna ask. David, did you ever get a hold of Chris Fokine to do your pricing situation?
I did not.
Okay,
I will do that this week.
okay, cool.
I've been away for a week.
I get it.
But I did get something positive out of it. I was in San Diego, and as a total coincidence, the group I met with out there, one of the gentlemen is on the San Diego Affordable Housing Committee.
Oh.
And he's sending over, they have I don't know how good or bad it is, what I'm going to get, but he's sending me their financial modeling tools
Ooh,
used to assess to the viability of projects. And so
Christmas for you, isn't it?
it's an Excel. So, yeah,
oh, that's cool.
I'll see about that.
All right.
I don't know how good or bad, given the lack of housing in San Diego, I'm not that hopeful,
They're the
but
same problem as we are.
It is
And
San Diego also.
Very expensive there too.
but- Yeah,
yes.
well, here's hoping it's at least something to start with, to
It's
build
at
out.
least, right, something to start with.
Cool. I'm just looking through the other action items that we had. So we can kind of come back to that. I guess we talked about like a list of available contractors. So I think that that'll be something that we ask Gwen, who's reached out and like is in vetting. And then advertising, probably in our interim meeting, we'll talk about that. If anybody feels inspired as to getting, I felt like we got the word out pretty good though. So
Yeah.
do that again.
We had talked about, I think at the last meeting, someone going to the town board meeting about the zoning.
I'm gonna take that one. So I said that I was gonna go, and then it was the tax deadline, and I didn't go.
Don't pay taxes. It's
I know, it's,
Just
no, I just
do
want
it.
people to pay me to do taxes.
right, just say you did it.
Oh, just say I did it. Okay, got it. Yeah. But I thank you for bringing that up. I will schedule myself. It's their town board, the work sessions are at
Tuesday.
Tuesday, 1
during the
o'clock.
day. Yeah, Right.
Wait, to talk about what?
to talk about zoning, to talk to them to see if they would expand or they would amend the community housing
Right.
license around the nearshore overlay. I'm talking about it,
Not for grant money, but if.
but just for the community housing
Do it.
license.
Yeah.
I think it's worth a conversation.
As a recommendation of the Community Housing Board.
Need to allow these ADUs in.
Yeah,
The nearshore overlay is probably a third of the island.
yeah,
Big chunk.
it's a big chunk. I mean, I guess that's actually a great question. Would I be going, I was thinking like, is that our recommendation? I mean, it's
Hey,
fine.
Liz, hey, Liz, excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would come with a plan or a proposal at least.
Also,
Well, I mean, I have the language written out. If there's one line that just needs to be redlined, but I can print it and bring it to you.
I think
Okay.
he's saying he wants a little bit more substance to the presentation than one line. Correct, Jerry?
Yeah, exactly. In other words, you have the discussion here, you know what you want, just make a presentation to us, to the public of, what it is, you're asking us to do.
Sure.
Hey, Liz, one more question while I have you.
Yeah.
I was talking with Coco today and, she's starting to get inquiries and, some forms. What's
Yeah.
the procedure? What do we do with them? Do we respond or?
Well, so let's talk about it. So basically these are the interest forms, right? And so those are for community housing and just as a refresher that we had been asked to put this together so that we could see the depth of the interest. So that is really what we're using it as a tool right now. Our hope is that we would be able to provide this list to like landlords who might take advantage of this program, or obviously potentially when we are able to offer affordable housing as a town, but we don't in truth have anything. We don't have any town housing to go to them with. So just like, again, as a refresher, we had been asked to kind of put the interest form together as a tool to gauge the interest.
Yeah, I just think it would be a good idea to acknowledge that we got it and, we'll keep them on the information list.
Okay.
Maybe we can, when we get them, collect them and every month go over them.
Well, I mean, we get them. It's just it's people's personal information, so that's why we don't go over it like,
Well,
oh, Sally from blah, 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 Sally, yeah. But so, I know Coco is gathering them and like,
But we can go into a closed session.
well, I guess here's the thing. In general, what do we want to say to them? Hey, we got your application. We got your information.
And
At some point, it's nice to acknowledge it.
Yeah.
No, I know. Well, I mean, I
I
know.
think that's one of the things Peter
Yeah.
is
But,
Yeah,
so
no, I mean-
remember, we have three different housings here: affordable, CDC,
Yeah.
and permit
Yeah.
for accessory. So what are these coming in for? This
So these are
big
people
grant
that
one?
are, no, so these are folks, at least what I believe Jerry is asking is we have a community housing interest form that people can fill out online to say, if
If something comes
If something
available,
comes available, keep me in mind.
Okay,
yeah.
And so that's what he's talking about.
Got it.
So
okay.
if people email in, usually Coca says, yes, I put you on the list.
Meg has a question.
Meg? Meg, do you have a question for us, or you just?
You're muted,
Yeah,
Meg.
sorry, I was muted. You sort of answered it in like your last sentence, but I was
Okay.
going to say, do we have a mailing list for all the people who have interest so that as we gain more information, we can send out blast emails and they can help spread the word?
Yeah, but I mean, I think here's the thing is we do have an email list, but we don't have like, the information that we have right now is just on the ADU grant. So these folks are, for the most part, looking for rentals, at least
Affordable housing.
affordable. They're looking for affordable housing. Majority, if I remember the list, is like, as they're looking for a rental rather than looking to build. So we do have a list. If like, as things become available, we're able to put information out. We just haven't had anything to send out.
Is there a policy that says how, is it first in, first off? Is there a policy that exists on?
So yeah, so that's a great question. So this is technically an interest form. So what would happen is like, if we did have something become available, basically, yeah, heaven forbid, we would have something available, we would email the whole list and say, hey, we have this opportunity available, and then they would actually put in an application.
Okay,
So that's how it works. So this is just saying like, hey, I'm interested, if somebody says like, I'm a family of 7, if we have a 1-bedroom available, we'd probably, I don't know, I think we would just blast to everybody, but
Yeah, we had it a few months ago when somebody said, I have a rental.
yeah, if somebody
Do you
came
have a
forward and
list?
says, do you have a list? And so we were able to, we were blasted out, we blasted out to the,
Back
So,
then, there were only 3 people on
yeah,
it.
so like every once in a while, we have like a private landlord that says
Yeah.
like, I'd like to help. And so we go to this.
I think as a matter of something that happens in our meetings, we could say, hey, we have 10 inquiries this month added to our list. Our list is now up to 170.
Yeah, do like a list recap.
Yep.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay.
You could also check the list. Are these, is everybody still interested?
So we just did that. So we just did a refresh, Coco this December.
Okay, so that's pretty.
Time is flat.
That's
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah, so basically we had a list previously, so we went back out and
Before,
said,
yeah.
are you guys, where are you guys at? Did you still want to be on the list? Yes, no.
So there are 32 people on the list, and I do give Liz the list of names every month. There were 4 this past
Yeah.
month, 4 names added. But I don't hand it out because it is confidential.
Yeah, no, we don't want to see the list, but
Yeah.
the raw number is
Yeah.
interesting. Good,
Yeah.
good data.
Yeah, and maybe what I can do is before, Kopi, maybe you and I can look at it, and maybe we could even just distill it down to like household size and stuff like that. Might be interesting for us. That's a great idea.
A lot of people, 32.
It is.
Yeah, it is a lot of
It's a lot
people.
more than I thought.
Yeah. Let's see.
Carol Russell is here. Maybe she wants to address. it.
Oh, hi.
Yeah, I'm listening because I'm former clerk treasurer. Karen, can you go to the podium?
Oh, do you?
I'm so sorry. I didn't see you there. You're like right behind the podium. And your beautiful coat is the same color as the chair. You just are camouflaged in.
I'm used to meetings. I was
Yeah.
village clerk treasurer during Harvard at Tim Hogue for 10 years. So I'm interested in this project. I am a problem and I want to be part of the solution. I need affordable housing, but I understand from somebody who's been in these meetings that there are auxiliary housings or, I lived in that cottage at Dinkles for a long time. And then investment I was working during Harvard. So I'm interested in this whole thing. I have been here since I was a child of 1935. I'm going to stun you, isn't it? I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't take any medicine. I have 20/40 vision. I do at the Poetry Roundtable, I do their document. I've done Arbor Day before COVID, 20 years. Jerry knows this, Jerry Silver knows it. And also, I've done the youth division of the garden club, same time, at the school, during school session, every Tuesday. So I am capable, but I know that I'm not going to get any younger. So I'm looking at what you're trying to do. You say, I think I heard you say there's 3 types of affordable housing. It's not the matter of affordable. I want to be in the community. I want to be your barnacle that sticks here. And I want to be a contributor to your efforts. And I think I know something about this local government, okay? And before I came here, I lived in Greenwich, Connecticut. And my grandfather was actually the supervisor. So I know a little bit about that too. So I'm interested in your efforts. I'm not here to criticize, I'm here to learn. And take notes and come back and relearn. I'd love to come to your workshops.
Well, please
If
do.
I could help, I'm trying to bring up my Greg shorthand. I have always worked and I love children and I want to stay. Okay?
Well, we're happy to have you.
I want to stay and I want to help if I can. I'd even like to talk to Patrick Parcells, his name is. He's now the mayor, I think. And say, look, what are you doing over here? You following suit? I mean, I know they've got big empty houses. I lived with Esther Hunt for a long time. She did round the clock and she's turning tomorrow 100, yeah. So send your Bridge an email. She doesn't take emails. I just got to call her. And Eula too. Eula's involved with Friends of Trees. Arbor Day again. I don't want to leave this island. I want to continue to be a part of it. Okay? That's why I'm here. You can help me learn more about what you're doing. My gosh, you're all up to date with this and that. When I went to Deering Harbor, they had a big ledger. And I had learned at Greenwich High School, I was under 50. I learned how to do Word, and I do a spreadsheet. It wasn't that hard. So I said to Tim, I don't want to, let me just put it on the computer. And I said, how about getting online? Finally, they got online. We have to keep up to date. So will you help me keep up to date, please?
Absolutely.
I'll help you with whatever I can do.
Well, thank you. But you're not looking for affordable housing.
I'm looking for a housing amongst this community. Never would want to be back in Greenwich, back country in Round Hill and in a big old house. No. Alone? No. I want to be here. I tell you, my next project, you'll love it. I put a Douglas fir in front of the school. It was Arbor Day a long time ago. It was 12 feet high. Now it's huge. You can't put religious things on it. I want to make it our peace tree. There are 195 countries in the world. I want to put the flags in each continent on that tree. Peace tree. Don't you think we need something like that?
Sounds awesome.
I think so. So I'd like to stick around and be a part of it.
Well, we'd love to have you.
Okay.
All right.
I'm a sailor too. And that's why I don't have a house. I lived on a boat when I was 4 years old, and before the war, and then after the war. That's why I'm considering this peace tree. We need that. We need to cooperate. We need to learn from each other, that's all. It's a beautiful island. Don't have it just be the rich and the poor. And I really do think we need to bring everyone together. I mean it.
Great.
So I won't disturb you anymore. How about?
Well,
Thank you.
thank you.
And I'd love to meet with you alone to discuss even more. Now, I'm going to get home my thoughts. I'll let you wrap up.
All right. Thank you so much. Do we have any other, I'm just trying to think, old business, new business before I ask? No? Juliet, do you have any questions?
Nothing from me, thank you.
All right. You know what that means? Someone,
Two quick things.
oh,
I checked the 16th, as of right now, there's nothing on the library calendar.
okay,
Checked online.
okay.
And if you do your Tuesday meeting with the board, not the next 2 Tuesdays, but after that, I'd be willing to come down and then say something afterwards.
All right, yeah, I think,
I'd be willing to come with you guys too.
Yeah,
That'd be great.
the next 2 Tuesdays would be impossible, but after that, no
so
problem.
let's, actually, I'm just gonna take a look, my,
If you wanted to set it.
I would love, yeah,
I'll
my,
set a date with you.
my admin schedules me very aggressively.
I just as, so a presentation, yeah, you could do 40 pages. It's 40 pages of what?
I mean, I think,
I don't think the
I think it
board
just-
would want 40 pages.
I think it would just be this.
But I think they'd want more than just
Well,
that one change. to
I feel
the-
like they want a PowerPoint. I feel like they want a PowerPoint with maybe a map
justification.
showing like what the nearshore overlay
I
is.
have a map in the office of it.
Yeah, we just put it together
very
with the
easy.
nearshore.
Some good bullet points and then a little
yeah.
bit of support from
Yeah.
that. Meg might.
Meg and I have actually met
Yeah.
about this particular issue. Maybe you have something to
Meg
say.
probably can speak better to this right now since she has her hand up. Again.
Hank?
Hi. Yeah, I don't think it's a super complicated ask. Really just defining what the nearshore overlay is for the people who don't know. And then explaining that the request is really just going to apply to the community housing license, so that people understand what the restrictions are that come with that license, and that it's not carte blanche for accessory dwelling units, because that's, I think, where people are concerned. And just kind of start there, and why the request is being made. Do you have people who live in the nearshore overlay who want to convert their accessory sleeping quarters to accessory apartments so that they can rent them year round in the community housing sector, that kind of thing. But I don't think it'll be a crazy long.
I don't think it would be, and I think the other thing, like as we had talked about when we met, Meg, is just like also just reminding folks that even if the town board were to take up considering just striking that nearshore overlay line, it would still be subject to Suffolk County health you know what I mean? Like it's still, nothing crazy happened.
But that's all important because
Yeah.
for conservation, clean water, et cetera, that's always going to be a focus. You want to be able to, right up front, say why this isn't going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But with the caveat that if it's near shore overlay, or at least that was my understanding, it has to be affordable, right?
Yes.
The ADU
Yeah.
can be market.
Yeah.
We give you this waiver, it has to be.
It has to be affordable, and it either has to be, I would have to it's actually in our brochure somewhere, but I believe it either has to be like a family member or it actually has to be off the town's list.
Perfect.
Most of the ADUs currently
Yeah,
are in the near shore.
but they can't technically be
Right.
rented, so this would allow them to, this would allow the
Come in.
homeowners to be able to bring them to market, even not at market rate, but at least to rent them legally.
Legally.
And is there any enforcement of the illegal?
No.
That, I have so many feelings about that, but no.
As I listen to this proposal, I have I can hear objections.
Oh, yeah.
One from people who recognize the nearshore overlay as being conservation based and to minimize, and that's, it seems like affordable housing is a reasonable thing. It's not like new construction, you're just gonna convert them to make already existing spaces, maybe rentable year round. But then what about the people who buy in the near shore overlay so that they don't have to have that kind of thing around there? I mean, like if you bought next to a park because there's a park there and then the town decided to put up affordable housing units there, wouldn't you be upset?
But here's the thing, it wouldn't.
Times change.
Well, I understand,
Right,
but
but
I'm
here's,
just hearing.
right, but
No, but that's-
but the thing
you're
would be, here's where I would go back to it and say, so many of the homes, regardless of how they're used,
Yeah.
I would say, and Peter, tell me if I'm a liar, that a preponderance of the homes in the nearshore overlay are built with accessory dwelling units.
Right.
So they're already.
They're already
so
there.
so
That's the-
right.
yeah.
So, but here's the thing is like, and I guess it's like, how I kind of feel about it is I feel like, does maybe the town overstep a little bit in telling that homeowner that they can't rent it? You know what I mean? Like, I would almost take the opposite point of view of just like, I get, it's not that the town is saying you have to, but why should the town prohibit me as a homeowner in the nearshore overlay from renting my ADU year round? Like, I feel like,
In that area.
But it's already set.
who already have them.
yeah,
Aren't doing it for the income.
Right.
yeah.
They would be doing it to help out.
Right, but like, why, and so I would kind of go back to it and say like, why is the town zoning code? Like, you don't have to do it, but why are you stopping your more wealthy neighbors from help? Why are you stopping
Yeah.
from helping? Which is basically, we have these people with means who are probably in the nearshore overlay. And if they're motivated to, like, that's probably where they are, right?
Right.
And if they're motivated to help, why are we not letting them? If we don't, because I mean, I think it kind of goes for like, the way I think about it is like, I think there's a lot of folks who maybe don't want the town to get involved and build something. Well, if the town's not going to build something, then you need to let private citizens help.
Yeah.
You can't have it both ways.
Good point.
It's also great, I mean, just from an age and place perspective.
Yeah.
It's a great
Yes.
tool.
Yeah.
When I'm 70, I can have an aide live in there, and when I'm 90, I can live in there.
Yeah.
And so,
No, I think that there's a lot of positives. And again, I really think about it as it's just like,
so how does the town enforce? I mean, so when you say there's no enforcement, there are plenty of people renting there, these dwellings,
Not necessarily.
not necessarily?
No, there are very few and far in between.
Oh, so it's not there's some rampant black market
No.
in ADUs? Okay.
There's some.
Oh, yeah, there's some, but not,
Yeah,
Not-
it's not,
I wouldn't even say a dozen
Okay.
on the whole island.
We just need 32.
yeah. But like, like I would think like David and I would like to build a garage. And we thought we'd love to put an apartment above it, but we can't because we live in the nearshore overlay. It's just like,
Well, if you're willing to rent it to someone on our list.
but if I had a license,
But
I
right
could,
now,
but right now I couldn't.
No, I understand. That's
but
what.
you need a change in the law to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does anybody feel like,
I got a call a couple of months ago from somebody who has an ADU that doesn't rent it out, not in the nearshore overlay. And a pipe burst and destroyed it. And he said, oh, I'm just going to take it down, everything out, and just cut it. And I said, no, keep it as an ADU and make it legal. I said, that's a $500,000 if you do not. Trying to get it back is going to cost you more.
yeah,
So he's like, oh, good to know. Thank you. So,
Uh-huh.
and he's never here. He never uses the main house. I was like, rent that out.
yeah, have somebody keep an eye on the place.
Yeah, that's a good thing too. People,
Yeah.
if it's a second home, the winter's here, it's a home.
Pretty empty.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go check on it.
yeah.
Hey, we had a storm.
Call me if the tree goes down. All right, gentlemen. Anything else?
Nope.
Shall we?
Make a motion.
To
Yeah.
adjourn.
All right.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
8 o'clock on the
You
dot.
guys.